going on, folks? Can't really see. How's everybody doing? Wait for this maybe to fill up. Obviously, this is about some crazy tyrannical attempt to revoke my bail conditions for an offense that holds no jail time, no incarceration allowed for Class B misdemeanors. So I'm not sure what they think they're going to accomplish here with this attempt to, I don't know what they're trying to do. Obviously, just give me a hard time. So I received a motion for revocation of bail conditions of release and requests for expedited hearing pursuant to R.S.A. 5977A. I have quite a few RSAs printed off here to go over. We'll see how long this takes. So now comes the state of New Hampshire by and through the Department of Safety attorney Charles F. O'Leary, and moves this honorable court to order the immediate arrest of the defendant for breach of bail conditions of bail. For breach of conditions of bail. And for an expedited hearing whereby the court may reset bail and conditions to ensure his good behavior and compliance pending trial. That's against my religion, folks. Absolute defiance is a religion to me. Fuck around and find out. So, they're saying, number one, on October 13th, me, Footloose, right, was arrested by the New Hampshire State Police for disorderly conduct. And again, for those who don't know, that alleged disorderly conduct was for making a loud noise during the executive council meeting, right? Which, of course, we've all seen the video. If you have not seen the video, go watch it. You'll see I did not make one peep. All right. So, pursuant to that arrest, Footloose was issued bail conditions by Bail Commissioner Susan Saltmarsh, or like Swamp Rat, on October 13th in 2021, which provided in pertinent part no contact with Governor Sununu or any member of the Executive Council, no trespassing or contact within 1,000 feet of where they may be. Where may they be? Anywhere. So what, I can't go anywhere? So on November 8th, 2021, at approximately 12:30, Auxiliary Trooper Eric Shirley observed Footloose enter the anteroom at the Representatives Hall at the New Hampshire State House. That was at the, Medical Intervention and Immunization public hearing for the reps, right? Trooper Shirley reports that he spoke with Staples and informed him that he was the subject of a bail order. We actually had a nice back and forth. He asked me, are you supposed to be here? We discussed the bail order. He actually told me, the governor's not here. He said, the governor's not here, so you're all set. But he probably is coming back at some point. I said, whatever. I said, maybe the governor, and this is, they quoted, maybe the governor should stay 1,000 feet away from me. Right? And he let me go in the room. And they let me speak. So, if I was violating the order, why didn't they arrest me right there on the spot? And, yeah, it's just crazy. So, it's entrapment. That's what I meant to say. It becomes entrapment at that point. Once you're allowed to do something, like they should have stopped me and arrested me right there if they think they had the justification, but they can't lock you out of participating for legitimate business. They can't say you can't go to the post office and put something in the mail or get stamps, etc. Those are the only places you can conduct certain types of business. And speaking at a public thing like that is 100% lawful, and they can't keep you from doing that. So, additionally, at that time, Trooper Shirley was speaking with Staples. He noted that the defendant had a sheathed hunting knife, which was attached through a belt loop to the side of his pants. Okay, well, Trooper Shirley had a firearm wrapped around his belt loop, attached to his hip. Okay, and actually, many other people that were there that day were open carrying, and I'm sure there were quite a few that were concealed carrying as well. So, what's the problem with us exercising our rights? That's the problem, is us exercising our rights, right? Whether it be the First Amendment, right to petition our government for redress of grievances, or whether it's the right to bear arms. It's crazy. If you don't use it, you lose it, people. So, number 5 here, Trooper Shirley was informed by Trooper Peter Gilbert of the New Hampshire State House Security Unit that the New Hampshire Governor, Chris Sununu, was in the building. He's like Elvis. And within 1,000 feet of Staples at that time. So he came back, apparently, and he was within 1,000 feet. So he came within 1,000 feet of me, and they didn't arrest me then. I don't know why. When I came out, why they just didn't arrest me there, but they didn't. So next 6, prior to that time, during the public hearing, Staples said, "I came here today, though my bail conditions say I have to stay 1,000 feet from the governor and the executive council. And upon information and belief, this statement by Staples has been captured on video." Additionally, the State House Complex, 107 North Main Street in Concord, contains offices for the governor and his staff, as well as the executive council chambers on the 2nd floor. And this is the place where governor and the executive council may be. So, wherefore the state of New Hampshire respectfully moves that A, Footloose be ordered to appear before Justice of the Concord Circuit Court District Division, and that his current bail order be revoked and reset by the court to assure he follows orders of the court pending his trial in the above captioned case, and B, for such other further relief that may be deemed just and proper. So, obviously, this is all a waste of our tax dollars. This is the Department of Safety prosecutor from Troop D. Right? If anybody wants to take a screenshot of that, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it or not. Right. But, so yeah, they're going to try to revoke my bail for something that they cannot give me any time for. And even if they raised my bail conditions to the maximum amount of the fine, which is $1,200, that's like the most reasonable thing they could do. They can't force excessive bails and punishments on people, right? So we know that under the Constitution, if we know the Constitution. So this is just one of the things I've been arrested for, and one of the issues. I also have not been telling people and made too much of a big deal about this, but I was arrested for breach of bail conditions for getting arrested for making the noise, where other people were arrested for saying amen. Okay? So what is really going on here? They're trying to silence us, and they're trying to abrogate our First Amendment rights and our ability to petition the government for redress of grievances. So we're going to persevere here. I've not been found guilty as of yet on any of the things, the 5 arrests so far that I've had, for disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct, okay, we have here, is someone's guilty of disorderly conduct if they knowingly or purposely create a condition which is hazardous to themselves or another in a public place by any action which serves no legitimate purpose. So, one, I've never created a hazardous situation for any of these disorderly conducts. And two, there is a legitimate purpose behind protesting. It's exercising our First Amendment rights and petitioning the government for redress of grievance. So it can't be disorderly conduct. You cannot criminalize the exercising of the First Amendment. I mean, that should go without saying. And the fact that I have to say this should be a red flag and a big warning and a shot across the bow for anybody. So I really don't even have to get into all the other things here that prove that I'm not, and I have not, and no one else that was arrested at the executive council meeting it has committed any disorderly conduct. Because even if someone did make a gripe, it has a legitimate purpose. That's why we are allowed to go to these hearings, so that we can hoot and holler and yell and make our voices be heard, right? So, again, Class B misdemeanor, right? Class B misdemeanor, blah, blah, blah. Maximum penalty does not include term of imprisonment. Does not include a term of imprisonment. So why they're arresting us for these things and not just like citing people and letting them go or giving them a warning, it's really troubling. The tyranny is ridiculous. And so bail conditions, they can't use bail conditions like that little blank spot there at the bottom, other. They can't just put whatever they want in there. It has to be valid. It's anything that's not valid, anything that's against the Constitution is void. It's just that simple. So when they're saying I can't participate, there has to be, at the very least, they don't even have justification to keep me away from the governor or the executive council, because I never directed anything at them and never threatened them, never created a hazardous situation. Have I got loud? Yeah. Am I pissed off? Yeah. And they're going to hear it. Have I sent them emails? Sure. Did the AG do an investigation regarding alleged threats? Did they find anything? No, of course not. So the only thing they can do basically is issue prosecution for contempt of court. So contempt of court has to find that, I'm going to cut right to the chase, that there's no conditions that will assure that the person's not going to flee. So there's no evidence that shows that I'm going to flee the country or something like that. Or they will not pose a danger or to the safety of himself or another or the community. So there's no evidence to support that I'm posing any sort of danger to myself or any others or the community. Okay. And, or two, that while on release, the person committed a federal or state felony. A felony. Okay? So the only time they can really revoke your bail is when you've committed a felony. And that's the only time I've ever seen them do this to people, except myself. Now they want to revoke my bail for fake arrests for us exercising our First Amendment rights. I mean, contempt of court, civil contempt of court, they cannot do anything. It has to be proven that someone's refused to comply with a valid court order, a valid court order. There's no court order. There's no court order. These bail conditions are just bail conditions. Those are not court orders. They're not, anything like that. And they can't just put whatever they want in there. It has to be valid. Because, it's not an ad lib or a mad lib. It has to make sense. So, yeah, if anybody does want to show, there will be a few people coming November 18th. This is in Brentwood, New Hampshire at 10 Route 125, 8:30 for the breach of bail conditions. This is a different breach of bail conditions, right? I think I mentioned it a while. I think it was in a different video. I didn't get to it at this one yet. But so I was just arrested for breach of bail conditions while attending a trial for the tickets, the picketing in a residential neighborhood tickets. I was at two people's trial, and there was a break, and I was going outside, and then I was arrested for getting arrested at the executive council meeting. So I know it gets confusing. I have a hard time keeping track of it all myself with all these different things. But it's really a waste of our tax dollars to have to drag me into court and prosecute these bogus things that even if I refuse to pay the fine, they can't hold me in jail either. They're Class B misdemeanors. They cannot hold you in jail. So then the 19th is going to be a big one. Obviously, the whole 9, the arraignments for the entire Noble 9 is going to be at 8 o'clock, starting at 8 o'clock, November 19th. Concord District Court, 32 Clinton Street, Concord District Court. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. Put them all in caps. Tax dollars is war. This is it's an information war, that's for sure. And they're trying to make people think they don't have any rights, and they don't teach people. They hold that information from people, and people are afraid of getting a ticket. So I'll actually put this out there in the ether. We're advocating or trying to organize an event where people go outside the little park in the cul-de-sac down near Sununu's house and hold signs that say amen and or put tape over their mouth that says amen because they were arresting people for saying amen. They gave a woman a concussion. And something else I would like to mention to people, the Belknap County Republicans, GOP or whatever, they are filing for a criminal investigation. Supposedly Hillsborough County is going to join them on that, and then a few other counties are supposed to get involved with that as well, to look into a criminal investigation on part of Sununu in his tyranny at the executive council meeting in ordering the arrest of 9 innocent people. And somehow, if you've seen those videos, it's the same officer who allegedly arrested everybody. Provenza, who I heard is getting fired. I'd like to know if he's on the Lori list, if anybody knows whether or not he's on the Lori list, which is that bad cop list. I'd be surprised if he was not on the list, but I don't know for sure. I haven't confirmed that. So this is what's going on in New Hampshire, everybody. This is what they're doing with your tax dollars. I don't know if this is what they're doing elsewhere in the country, right? Let me go back through these. There's only a few people. Yep. That's what they're trying to do, Crazy Scott. This is the tyranny that we're facing, and people got to be willing, to step up, stand up, speak out, exercise your rights, carry. If you don't, you won't be able to. You won't be able to soon enough. Send an affidavit. Yes, I need to talk to you about that, Phyllis. If you're still on here, I need a copy. I need another copy of that. Judge your conduct if they cannot cause harm. Right, exactly. I'm not causing harm to anyone. They're not alleging I'm causing harm or creating a hazardous situation or any of this stuff you would think. It's insanity. It's fear mongering. They're trying to make an example out of me. They're trying to scare people, and we will prevail. The people will prevail. I 100% believe that. We're exposing the corruption. Every time they do this to me, it helps to expose the corruption more and more and more and more. Right? Sununu has the habit of ordering police to do many things. See, yep, exactly. He targeted us with the tickets and creating that ordinance. Yeah, Savi Pacem Parabellum. Rando, I can't pronounce that name there. Prepare for peace. If you hope for peace, prepare for war. Yep. He's not on the list. All right, thank you, Lynn. And stop paying taxes. I agree with that. We should not fund our own oppression. I think everybody should stop paying their taxes because this is the live free or die state. Why are we funding our oppression by the federal government? We don't have taxes. We don't do that income tax here in New Hampshire. So why should we pay income tax to the federal government? And what is income tax? We could get into that in another video, and whether or not the income tax even applies to wages, right? Might want to look into that, everybody, and see if you even are liable for income tax. Income tax is supposed to be income from a business, not from labor or wages or anything like that. So anyways, thank you all for joining this. Please share anywhere you think people might benefit from this or need to know. And I look forward to seeing people at the 19th. And if you want to come to the 18th, don't take the day off of work or anything like that. It's not a big deal. I don't want people to waste their time for 5 minutes of me going in there to plead guilty or whatever. You never know. I really don't think anything's going to come of this. I have faith in judges. Judges are pretty smart, and they will not make fools of themselves so readily. But again, you never know. We shall see, folks. Have a good night. Thank you very much.